G'day boys and girls, how are we going? I hope everybody's well. I thought that I would do a little overnight, no food, no water, survival challenge. Obviously I'm not in any actual immediate danger, but I thought it would be a bit of fun and I can share what I've learned over the last several years, so let's do that. I'm just going to use what I've packed in this Helikon Tex Mark II Foxtrot belt rig, something like that, and a fishing rod, And on that note, I just saw a trout over in a little deep pocket of the river up there. Obviously it's out of order with the rule of threes, which I'll explain later, but I'm not going to miss an opportunity to catch a fish, am I? Especially when I see it with my eyeballs. Let's go. Now it's a good location because you've got these rapids coming down here off the rocks and then forms a bit of an eddy out over there where it's deeper. Keep moving downstream, hey? I heard some ducks and I thought, surely that means like a pond of water. And they've actually led me to the promised land. I have no idea how I'm going to cast this knot into a tree. Going back to the rule of threes, the first three is for 3 minutes. You've got 3 minutes without oxygen before you absolutely perish. You've got 3 hours without shelter, hence why really, especially this late in the afternoon, I should be looking for somewhere to build a shelter. After that you've got 3 days without water and then 3 weeks without food. So I've gone straight for the last one, and I've just gone straight for trying to get a trout because it would be delicious. And it's going to be very cold, so let's go think about a shelter. So somewhere in this clearing here would be nice, but I might try and head a little bit further up the hill because the lower you are, the closer to the water. One, you're gonna have a lot of bugs, but two, it'll be a lot colder because all the cold air will settle at the bottom. See what we find. So this spot here has good potential. These 2 skinnier trees here, I could get a lean-to shelter built up against. It's about the right length. I could definitely make it work. Okay, I'm battling the light now, as usual. But that's what happens in real survival situations, isn't it? Not just me basic hiking, camping. Anyway, I'm going to stick with these 2 trees that I picked out. I managed to find a big fallen tree with some nice long branches on it. So I'll be able to at least get the frame of the structure up and then see how we go. Alright, well it's less than ideal, let's put it that way. But running out of light, I'm going to go down. I still got to get some water because I still need to filter it and boil it. So I'll have to get a little fire going. But I may as well have a fish while we're down there as well, so see how we go. Okay, so I thought before I do head down there, I better explain a few things about the shelter. That cross beam is actually held up there by the two forked sticks. They work against each other to hold each other there. So if I pull on this, it doesn't come down. It's all sort of just locked into itself up against those two trees. If I had more time, if I was here first thing in the morning, I would do it properly to show you guys. You could use a whole bunch of things. You could use paper bark, you could just use like mulch. Keep doing it until it's quite thick, because it doesn't sound like that would stop water coming through, but if you have it steep enough, you'd be really surprised. Another thing that I know gets overlooked is if you don't have a sleeping mat, you want to pile up some grass or some kind of bush or plant around so that it's quite thick. Because if you do it like that, or even just a couple layers, within 10 minutes of laying on it, you're going to completely compress it down, and you're going to lose all the warmth out of your body straight into the earth. And it'll happen really quickly, and that's going to keep you awake, potentially have you waking up at some time during the night with hypothermia. So you don't want that. I've given a pretty thick level of button grass here. I would actually go a lot more than that, but again, not a real survival situation, but at least I can explain it to you. And that's more or less it. I'll quickly show you what I've got in here. Okay, so straight off the bat, I've just got a foraging pouch attached there to the molly. I've got my leather gloves. These are Milwaukee for anybody who is interested. Pathfinder stainless steel water bottle, because I can boil up with that. I've got first aid kit, which is pretty much snakebite bandages and a few other bits and pieces. Sunscreen, because every good survivalist needs sunscreen. I've just got some polyurethane on the top there actually. That, believe it or not, takes up half of this thing, and that's just my camera gear. More camera gear, it's pretty much just a camera gear bag. Got a bandana here, 100% cotton, so I can filter with this, I can make char cloth out of that. And then I've just got a little neck sock, that's pretty much it. On the bottom here, I've just got an Alton Goods summer weight sleeping bag, and then it's a Snug Pack Special Forces bivvy. I've got this really nice RMK Leatherworks Leatherman pouch. I really like that. It's adjustable with that Phillips head screw there. You can loosen it and then slide it up or down depending on what you have inside the pouch. The RMK survival pouch, it's basically a survival tin pouch holder. What have I got now? I've got some char cloth, flint and steel, and then I usually keep my ferro rod on that, but it is actually on my Swagman's Companion by R&M Blades. And then just my telescopic, my old faithful telescopic fishing rod. On that note, water and fish time, because I know I'm going to get one. Oh, I do have a head torch. It's in with my camera batteries and stuff like that. I'll tell you what, see you home. Quite thirsty, but I haven't been too concerned about that because I know I'm right next to the river. But my stomach started aching, I was crashing, and yeah, I know it hasn't even been a whole day, but all I've had is breakfast. And when you're not conditioned to eat little amounts, because I love my food, love to snack, honestly, I ate way too much food. Yeah, you definitely feel it. But it sort of came in a wave and it's passed now, and I feel good. Even if I don't catch a trout tonight, I'll be sweet. Try my luck in the morning, won't I? Anyway, well, let's see. Don't speak too soon, mate. Sell yourself short. Beautiful spot, hey? Yeah, there's a little trout that just went for it. All the beautiful moss on these rocks. This place is so cool. Okay, so there is really good sized trout here. I probably just saw like a 35 centimeter one. There's a little cave under that boulder over there. I'm gonna see if I can get him. one right there. Just a moment ago, there was a big trout right underneath that boulder, and as soon as I climbed up here, massive one jumped right underneath that log over there. Now I'm just going to try that pond over there. I feel like it's just a matter of time though. This place is so damn beautiful. Oh man, all to myself too, crazy. Real life, camouflage my shelter so well, I don't even, I can't find it. Turn that up. It just looks like everything else out here. I wish I was joking. Hey mate, what are you eating? Do you mind sharing? That's alright. Have a good night. Oh, we found her. Don't you worry about that. Do not worry about that. Oh, hang that up. I'll probably wake up, think that that's a human in the middle of the night. Scare the shite out of me. Oh. Home sweet home. I could probably sit a little bit closer, couldn't I? I could just, yeah. Mate, turn that down. Inferno level. There we go. Oh, that's much nicer. Well, I found my shelter, so that's a win for the day. Look, it would have been a lot nicer coming back to sleep on the ground under a bunch of sticks. If I'd caught a fish, I would have had a fire going in a minute. Would have been cooking that trout up. Mate, could you imagine? My morale would have been through the roof. I would have been acting like an absolute lunatic. I'm feeling pretty good. I didn't really want to be down there this far into dark because down in creeks and rivers, all the frogs come out, and then so too do the snakes to feast on the frogs. So once I started hearing all the frogs going and started seeing a few, I knew I had overstayed my welcome, and it was time to just admit defeat on the trout. Like I said in my last vid, I haven't done a lot of trout fishing. In fact, like almost zero, like twice in my entire life. So we've got nothing for dinner. We've had no lunch, we've got nothing for dinner. I've got the water, I'm gonna boil that up. That's, honestly, I'm looking so forward to just drinking water. That would be great. Oh, lots of things making noise around here in the grass, so that's good. I reckon I could just get some of this dry grass. Use that for tinder. Okay, so we did the coarse filter through the bandana for all the turbidity, bits of moss, twigs, anything that's in the water that can be filtered out like that. And then we boil it to get rid of all the nasties. I won't be having the fire like this. This is just until the water boils. Just goes to show like how you can find yourself in trouble after only like a couple of days, 3 days. Cause it's 20 to 9. Wow, it's 20 to 9. Probably had my last drink of water about 8 o'clock this morning. Yeah, like I definitely feel it. Looking forward to sleeping under here. I dare say I'm gonna get quite cold on the ground though. Alright, we've got to boil. So in terms of SOS signals, trying to get yourself rescued, smoke signals, fire signals, what you want to do at night time is have a fire going, lots of dry wood, make it burn really bright. You could even light several fires in the shape of a triangle or an X or an arrow towards camp, your broken down vehicle, whatever it might be. And during the day, you want to have a real smoky fire that can be seen from a distance, from long ways or even up in a plane. So you can burn a lot of green stuff, a lot of green leafy branches. So by night, you want a nice dry, hot, bright fire. During the day, you want to make as much smoke as possible. It's really nice laying by this fire right now. In a real survival situation, I'd make the fire a lot longer and then I'd just maintain it and wake up every now and again to bring it back to life or add fuel to it. But I'll put this one out before I go to bed tonight. Just because, yeah, fire seasons are kicking off in Australia and we've already got a few going on and I do not want to add to that. Let's see how that water's going. Feels alright. Bottoms up. It's good. It's even just a little bit warm, which is actually quite nice right now because it's quite cold. It does actually snow. It does actually snow in the location I'm at during winter, so it gets pretty cold up here, up in these mountains. I was doing a little walk around, just collecting sticks for the fire, and I just had this weird moment where I looked down at the stick as I was approaching it. It was sort of bendy, and I thought, oh, it looks like a snake. And then when I got over to it and I leant over and I was reaching down to pick it up, I was like, hang on, is it a snake? And I literally couldn't like get my eyes and my brain to focus just for like a second or two. And I was like, it's a stick, of course it's a stick. And I was like, oh, is that from not eating, not drinking maybe? And then I remembered, anyone who's served in the army will know DefOps. DefOps at Singo. You do it at Kapooka too, but it's definitely not the same thing. Yeah, School of Infantry, you do a week called DefOps, and for the first few days you don't sleep at all and you're just digging pits, like fighting pits and constructing them, and all through the night, just non-stop, round the clock, 24/7. By the fourth night, you start actually like tripping. You can't, especially because at night time you're looking through your MVGs, so everything already looks a bit strange. And then with your head just starting to go loopy because you're not sleeping at all, you start to like not really be able to make out the difference between what you're sort of dreaming because you're half asleep, but it's also just a daydream, and what you're actually seeing in front of you. They start to combine, yeah, people told me about it before I did it, and I was like, oh yeah, hilarious, and sort of thought, nah, I don't really believe that. And then, like, to do it, I was like, wow, honestly, it's crazy. Who was I in a pit with? Lanaz and Minette, shout out you boys. And I think Minette started tripping out and, like, pointing at Lanaz, full, like, pressed himself up against the wall to get away from whatever was wrong with Lanaz, and he was like, dude, your eye. And I was like looking at Lanaz, like, what, like trying to work out what was wrong with his eye. And Lanaz is like, what man, what? And like grabbing his face. And then Minette starts to describe like what his eye looked like, and it's like, dude, like what? Like your eye's like hanging out of its socket. And then as he's saying it and painting the picture for me, I start to see it on Lanaz as well. Just because you're so cooked, you're so fragmented and tired that your imagination just plays absolute tricks on you. And just like I'm looking at this fire now, looking at this camera now, I saw Lanaz with his like eye hanging out of its socket, and it absolutely wasn't. And I sort of like snapped at it for a second and like had to like, I was like right up in his face trying to look at his eye, and I was like, no, his eye's fine. And then I was like, man, his eye's fine. Lanaz, don't listen to me, your eye is fine. And I had to like settle everyone down, and then we all laughed because we realized that we were just so tired, we were just cooked, and yeah, we were just in absolute tears. Just, oh man, dude, memories. What a wild time. So on that note, I'm gonna drink a lot of this water tonight, probably even all of it, because there's a lot of weird noises out there, and I do not want to be absolutely tripping, making things up in my head in the middle of tonight. Just sleeping with boots on tonight. Just another layer to keep my feet warm. I'll see you guys in the morning. See you guys in the morning for a trout. Morning, boys and girls, how we going? Had a very late rise today. It's about 8 o'clock. I had a freezing night. I was freezing, and when I woke up this morning, I just thought, one, I haven't had much sleep, but two, I'm not hopping out of this sleeping bag until there's some sun about. It was only a summer weight sleeping bag, and it was probably about 8 or 9 degrees last night, maybe even less, to be honest. Anyway, I'm just going to switch up the lure on this rod, and we'll have another crack at the fish. Thinking we might go with the spinner. Really is so pretty down here by the water. Snag City. Absolute Snag City. Might have to go for an explore. We have done it again. Trout. Oh. What a beautiful fish. Amazing. And I'm so hungry, so it's come just in time. I don't have the GoPro turned on though. I thought I turned it off and then turned it back on, but it obviously never came back on. Gills and guts out in one go. Alright guys, well we got our little fishy, we might head back to camp and cook him up. I followed the river down a little bit further and it's just like, it is really picturesque. I'll definitely have to come back here another time, but let's go back and cook up because you can probably hear it in my voice. I'm very hungry. Let's go. I'm just going to go grab a few pieces that I need to cook this fish up with and maybe a couple little ingredients. I haven't seen anything too exciting, but a couple of things we can use. Alright, I've just had a real big eureka moment. We've got wireless phones, right? We've got wireless charging systems. We don't need cables. What about, and don't steal this, wireless fishing rods? Because this thing gets caught on everything possible. I was thinking of cooking up some Lamandra longifolia stems with the fish, but I've decided I'm going to cook the fish a different way, and I'll show you that little surprise. But I might just get a few centerpieces just to snack on. Tastes like peas for anyone who doesn't know. Some of them taste like peas, some of them just taste like absolutely nothing. Hot tip, you know you've got the center ones when they come out a lot easier than the others. Didn't even need the char cloth. So I've never done this method. It's probably very apparent to some of you, but if you don't try, you're never going to learn, you know what I mean? It's one thing to see it done, it's another thing to practice. So don't hate on people for trying things for the first time, otherwise when would anyone achieve anything great? Oh, he's called it. He's going to be great at this one day. Let me get this one wide open. Strong vine, bloody hell. That works. Alright, stick it in the ground, hey? I've decided it's probably a nice time to go for a dip. Oh! That is some fresh mountain water there, I'll tell you that. Oh! Oh! God! Wim Hof again. Oh, mate. Oh. It's like I'm in a freezer or an ice bath. Oh, I should be cooling that down in here. Idiot. That's not going to do much. It's funny how you can go from just dead hungry to knowing you've got your fish and you just completely come alive again. You haven't even eaten it yet, but you feel like you have. Alright, let's get this thing off, shall we? Get this thing off. Okay. Nice little spot in the shade here. The water is actually ice cold now and delicious. Yep. Smells like cooked fish. The bones peel straight off like that, taking none of the meat. Gotta do close up eat. Oh, hot, but looks good. Oh, that is great. That's like smoky. Oh, the smoky flavor is so good. Thank you, river. Thank you, fishy. Well, we did it. We survived against all odds. Before I sign off, Helikon Tex Mark II belt rig. I got it from Tax Store, so www.taxstore.com.au. No affiliation, that's just where I got it from, and it's a good bit of kit. It's actually really good for this sort of stuff like fishing and sort of bushcraft camping. Yeah, I like it. Thanks for joining me, boys and girls. We did it again.
Yeah. Tell him don't play with me, bitch, I got gang with me. Just wanna trade with me. I've been up late viewing tape for the sake of it. Hard do the race on stage.